Hey there, my name is Angela Rasmus, and I'm a self leadership coach, mentor, and facilitator. And I'm here today with a self leadership snippet for you. Today, I want to talk to you about faulty thinking and a very simple way to be able to practice fixing it. So, what is faulty thinking? Well, one way of looking at this is with cognitive distortions. Now, a cognitive distortion is a fancy way of saying unrealistic thinking that trips you up, that is habitual and often negative, and actually quite irrational and unrealistic. Now, some examples of this sort of thinking could be, let's say, a business owner who has had a couple of months of downturn in sales inquiries and then starts to think, that's it, my business is going down the toilet. I might as well have a fire sale now. Nothing's going to work. It's all terrible. Now, that is an example of catastrophizing, where you're taking a piece of information and blowing it up out of all proportion. Now, the problem with that attitude is that that leads to behaviors that are not going to be conducive to, in this case, fixing the problem. Another example would be somebody who is in a career and has been passed over for a promotion. And instead of actually finding out what has happened, they begin to do mind reading. They decide that the boss thinks that they're crap, that they've got no skills, and that they have no future at this organization. And that can lead to resentment and really strained relationships and a disengagement from work. Now, that type of behavior is not going to increase the possibility of potential promotions in the future. That sort of mind reading doesn't allow the balanced perspective that might uncover the reasons why the promotion didn't happen on this occasion. And a third example could be in a relationship where, let's say it's a new relationship that you're having, and there is an argument that comes up. And instead of unpacking that, there is a boom, a decision with black and white thinking that this relationship's going nowhere, they don't understand me, it's going to have lots of conflict, I'm out of here. Now, I know I'm giving you extremes here, but that's what can happen when we get stuck in this faulty thinking, these cognitive distortions. Now, with self-leadership, one of the key strategies that we cover is the idea of building constructive thought patterns. Now, with constructive thought patterns, there's three key things that we're aiming for. One is balanced thinking, the ability to look at both sides of the situation. Another one is solutions focus. So it's looking for not the problem, but how can we find our way through and find the solution? And the third point is optimism, this belief that a solution is available, a greater understanding is available. When we bring these three pieces together, the opportunity is for you to be able to see situations far more clearly, and as a self-leader, make better decisions that will lead to better outcomes. Now, there is a four-step method that I teach my clients to be able to tackle these distortions when they come up. The first step is to notice them. Now, noticing often comes from an emotional perspective. There's usually some sort of, whether it's hitting it in your belly, in your throat, across your chest, whatever it is for you, there's an emotional response to something, which can, without you intervening or staging an intervention on yourself, fall into that faulty thinking, which will mean you can't think clearly. So number one is notice it. Number two is then to challenge it, to challenge the thought, to show yourself that there is not necessarily evidence supporting this sudden this automatic negative thought that is crawling up your arms. So we challenge it. The third step is we change it based on our pausing and analyzing more realistically the situation. We can bring a different thought in instead. For the example of the business owner with that downturn in sales, it could be all businesses go through ups and downs. If I look back on my figures over the last couple of years, well, look at that. There's a couple of other times where things have gone slow. Okay, what can I do at the moment to stimulate inquiry again? Now, that's a much more balanced thinking, solutions orientated, an optimistic mindset. All of these things combining together means that the person, yourself, is much more likely to take positive action and move towards that positive outcome. When you're stuck in faulty thinking, that can't happen. The fourth step is to check over time, have a look at, am I managing to upgrade and change my thinking? Can I congratulate myself for the improvements that I've made? Because this way of constructive thinking, it's a skill that you build. It's a practice that you use that means you get better and better at it. Underpinning every aspect of self-leadership is the growth mindset, the recognition that we can and will improve and grow when we choose to focus on that growth. So, if you're interested in finding out more about self leadership, there's a couple of different aspects. You can always book a connection call with me. Just go to my website, angelarasmus.com.au, and click on the book a call button. Or you might actually like to come along to the next self leadership session. They happen at 11 a.m. each Tuesday. They'll be happening right through until mid-November as I share and teach lots of snippets about self leadership. Either way, I would love to talk to you about how self leadership can enhance the way you show up in your world, and especially as a business owner, make much better strategic decisions as a result. So, thanks for listening. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll be back with another self leadership snippet again next week. Take care.